Welcome to the TMC Newsroom. On the road, my name is Rich Tehrani, and our program today is Elsa Uhl, who is with EKU Solutions. Hello, Elsa.
Hi, Rich.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for giving this opportunity to,
Oh, glad to have you. I was hoping we could start out by talking a little bit about what your company does.
Sure. My company is in the niche business of telecommunication needs between Russia, Ukraine, and United States. Americas.
So customers looking to connect between those locations?
Yes, so any kind of communication needs requirements that's been here for years, that's what we were trying to address with all kinds of managed services that customers require. The business started a long time ago. The business actually started in '92. There was an iron curtain that broke, and Russians were allowed to talk to Americans directly, because before that it was illegal. You couldn't show any truth on the TV about America and something like that. So, and there was a TV program that was very famous in Russia with Mr. Poznev, and it was called Telebridge. And there was a telecom company behind it who actually provided for that people sitting in Ostankino in Moscow, Russia, and people sitting in New York in one of the studios to have a video conference kind of experience. So there was a satellite link at that point, and that's how the business started.
Okay, wow, that's going back a long time.
Yeah, no, at that point it was not EKU Solutions. EKU Solutions came in the middle of it, but that was the beginning of the business, and the business lines and the customers, this is all started at that time. So then it was a lot of changes, obviously, and all these telecom hits, and like in the end of '98, when our wholesale part went bankrupt, and then there was a lot of restructuring. It was constant acquisitions of parts of the business, and that's like all the carriers are going alone. But that niche line on the needs between U.S. and Russia and Ukraine, that always existed, and right now we ended up having maintaining a network between U.S., Russia, and Ukraine. We're having local partners with local operations in Russia and local operations in Ukraine and international network.
So what kind of customers are you looking for?
The customers that we have, we actually look for obviously more banking customers or trading circuits, because this is what still needs the network to be used. However, because our services are sold and relations are coming mainly from Russia, and Russia have companies who would buy the plant in the U.S. So it would be all kind of metal companies, engineering companies, or a lot of software companies, because there are a lot of talented software developers in Russia and Ukraine, and several companies are operating by producing the software in these companies in the countries and sell it here. So, but that's, what, we can't just sell. We have a lot of media customers, obviously the governmental customers, because U.S. Visa Department or something would have, services along that corridor.
Right.
So everything would, but governmental, we would, have our own relations. I doubt that anything new could come from the U.S. However, whichever, we're ready to challenge rate-wise and by the services, by, what we do. All major carriers, traditional PTTs, because their services tend to be very, very standard international-wise. They only sell private lines or MPLS, MPLS, some kind of just capacity with SLAs, but they wouldn't help with a little, you need to set up an international network, the way exactly it works, and it's constant changes and constant new add-ons, and a lot of new services would be adding all these local DID numbers from different countries, and then bringing it to the corporate server for voice, and then another new news that corporate servers are coming more and more into co-locations. So we have to open redundant co-location facilities,
right.
And that's what we do.
That's great.
So this year was a lot of news this way. So we opened a very new, very professional co-location facility in Ukraine, which is extremely important, because the facilities that are there, they famous for power failures. So right now we have a complete solution by APC with all power and conditioning and all kind of infrastructure provided. So it's about 50 cabinets. So
that's great.
That's another thing we would love to fill. And with regards to Moscow, it was a lot of fiber build-up in Russia itself. So probably in 2010 we added about telling 1,200 kilometers. It would be about 700-800 miles of dark fiber to different towns, cities in Moscow suburb, Moscow region area, and some other further cities. We acquired one of a company in Tula. It's like a big town in Russia, and now we have this fiber Moscow to Tula, and we service a lot of companies along that corridor. But this is more like local news, and international. There's not much news except for capacity, say, increasing to some points from 256K 6 years ago to maybe up to 4 and 5 megs right now. And
so you skipped over the T1.
Yeah, so now we're bonding T1s, or we're going into carrier Ethernet for that.
Perfect.
But,
thank you.
It's still international, is still behind the local, but we're getting there. So that's
Well, I appreciate you being on the program today. This was very nice to speak with you today.
Very nice to speak with you too.
And good luck.
Thank you.